Pretty fucking tired. Good morning. Oh, nice little ray of sun feels good. Good morning, YouTubers. As I mumble away to myself. So, right now, our economy is worse than it was 3 years ago. It's worse than it was a year ago. It's worse than it was 2 years ago. Definitely. To blame a lot of things. There's been a lot of factors, right? COVID, of course. But if you recall, when Sleepy Joe got elected, it was months of him just signing shit. And he signed more in his first 2 months than any president signed in their fucking 2 years or 4 years even. Like he was just, he destroyed everything that Trump had done and brought it back, and then even went a step further. So here's the thing. Our political system, it was going along like this, and then it started to dip down, right? And it was going along like this for 60 years at least. And then Trump came and it went like this, right? So technically, during Trump's administration, it went like this, and it was supposed to get here, but it didn't. It actually went back up to about here, right? So then when the Democrats said, oh no, we got to get back on track, and everybody was like, oh yeah, we need to get back to what was before or whatever. So they were supposed to be here because of Trump, right? Like that was where the progression was, and Trump happened, so we ended up stopping, and we just kind of stayed here. We actually went back a little tiny bit, and then Joe came into office and he went like, oh shit, boom, and he just drove to there like straight down, and then over, and actually went a little bit past that mark. So now we're down here and we're back on that track, but instead of this track, we're on this track now. If it was on a graph. Not to say that everything Trump was doing was great. I wouldn't even say that I know enough to say that, or not to say that. But I know enough to look around. I know what my bank account's doing. I know what it costs to fill my gas tank. I know what it costs to go to the grocery store. Right? I don't need a fucking degree in politics to understand that stuff. So, when they say everything's going according to plan, it's all great, no worries, blah, 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 even though the economy's like going to shit right there beside you, that's their plan. Right? If my plan's to kill you and you're dying, then everything's going according to plan, even though you're dying. That's good. That's part of the plan. I don't know if I'm saying it right. to get my point across enough that their plan is very negative. So when negative things happen, it's good to the plan. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think it was in 2 weeks, a loaf of bread in Germany went from $5 to $2,000 because they had to print so much money. And 15% of all American dollars have been printed in the last 2 years under Joe Biden. Same thing's going on in Canada under Mr. Dress Up, Justin Trudeau. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't besmirch the good name of Mr. Dress Up, actually. Captain Crossdresser, I don't even know. He's not even a crossdresser, he's just fucking blackface. Racist, because he didn't just do it with blackface. He did it. He's been going all over the world and dressing up as other cultures and doing fucking stupid shit that an embarrassment. Anyway. So how quickly is this coming? Like, their plan's picking up pace. And they're all this crime and reform and stuff. They're trying to riddle you with crime in the States, especially, so much that when they say, no, the government is gonna, and then crippling you with fucking debt at the same time, the government's gonna take over all that, all your possessions, all your debt. We got it. And so now, if something gets stolen from you, it wasn't really yours. So it doesn't matter to you, right? Like, if I got like if I'm on a job site and I got the government's shovel and I come back after lunch and the shovel's gone, it's no consequence to me. And then if the government owns everything, the thief steals the shovel, who's he going to sell it to? Nobody's got any money or possessions. You can't transfer social credit score. So a shovel, the thief, he might be able to go and dig a fucking garden and keep himself alive or something, maybe. But incentive to steal is going to go far. They're going to at least explain it to you that way, that it's not going to be there, right? Now, life always finds a way. So what'll happen is humans will come up with a barter system. So we'll start trading those government things on a black market. Penalties for that will go up.
it'll be very 1984, right? Because there's going to be a resistance of people. Now, again, will our resistance be like a fighting resistance? Will, be led by Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Of course not Arnold, he'd be the leader of the other side. But, no, it'll be a resistance like 1984 where they're resigned to us and we're resigned to them. Or we're the woods people. You stay away from the woods people. They'll eat you. They'll do this, they'll do that, and it'll be all propaganda about us. And when you see your government shovel go missing, everybody will be feared about it. It'll be on the news. You'll get like 15 minutes of fame because you had one of the Poe people in my backyard. He was right there. I just went in for a drink of water and I came out and oh my god, I could have fucking been eaten by him. Or whatever the propaganda is. Infected. That's what it'll be. I doubt this video will make it online. Rumble's gotta step up his fucking game. I honestly don't know what to tell you to get ready for it. Knowledge, wisdom, food. Food's the big thing. And then gold and silver. I guess I've been telling you all along. It feels like it's really far away and fake, but it's really close. It's sad. But exciting, maybe. At first. Because during that turmoil,
lives are gonna change.
I would be fine with being the Poe people, I guess. That's why it's exciting to me. I just don't know if they're gonna round us up at first or not. It seems like they would. Like they would want to round all us up and kind of tuck us away. At first, at least until they assimilate the rest of yous into this. Try to weed out what they had to. Get what they can assimilated fully. And now, they all believe in evolution. You all believe, a lot of you. So, they're going to naturally think that it'll be a thought evolution, right? Where they'll be able to say, well, all our kids will think our way. They'll all fit into the box because they're our kids from our DNA strands. We don't have any of that information anymore into our DNA because we weeded you guys out. So everybody should fit into this box of thinking. more easily because we've taken the intelligence gene and weeded it out. And they'll think that's going to make us evolve. But you heard it, right? What gene it is that you're getting rid of. The chromosome or whatever it is that you're trying to breed out of the system. Because you could technically do that. Look at polar bears, right? You can tell that a polar bear and a black bear probably had a common ancestor. But it was like a bear, it was like a panda bear, whatever. They probably all had the common ancestor, but you know what I mean? It was probably a multicolored bear. Probably looked like a Maltese cat or whatever with the fucking brown and the darks and the, you know, whatever. But where size was a factor, they got bigger, and where color was a factor, they got particular colors, right? Probably a time when a mother bear had a white cub and a brown cub and a black cub and all multi-sizes, and you know, the white one might have been the smallest, whatever. Over time, it turned out for the polar bears that being big and white was beneficial. Grizzly bears wanted to be big and brown. Brown bears just wanted to be brown. Black bears, it was better to be a little smaller and black to blend into their environment and to move through their environment. So, they could technically, it wouldn't do it in one foul swoop. There's no way. You'd have to keep throwing generations of people out, like kids that grew up and wouldn't fit into the system would just get tossed to the people or whatever, right? Where you'd throw them outside and we'd just be like, no, come on, buddy, you know, like let's show you how the real world where it looks, and this is what you're actually missing, and that person's mind's just gonna go, oh. Because I've already said to you as well that I've already thought about nomad living with just a bag on my back, right? And my fucking bow and arrow. I could get good at it. I don't think I could go be good at it right now or anything like that. I think I would go be hungry this winter. But throughout a summer, maybe two, other people, different knowledge and wisdom coming together. Yep. Make that work for sure. And then be able to just start taking in people. It's part of why I wanted Linger Longer to exist. Because I thought if Linger Longer stood in a time like this, it would be totally self-sufficient and not only making power to charge its own batteries and use within the farm, but also locked into the grid to send power out into the grid for other people to use for whatever, right? Who cares? But such is life. I think the planning process, knowing, because I did like flowcharts and stuff on it and did a business plan. I took project management at one time in college or whatever, so I know a little bit about that stuff. And, just one course. I didn't take specifically project management, and I didn't do great in it. I passed it. I got like a C or something like that. It wasn't great. And a lot of paperwork. Heavy paperwork. Anyway, but the planning process of Linger Longer and going through it all step by step, laying it all out, thinking it all out, thinking it out again, I think that process of that knowledge will be helpful later on. And then obviously all the knowledge of everything to actually do all of that stuff. Right? I could make that community farm pretty well anywhere. Just go go to work. For the most part. Be a bit of a learning curve with the bandsaw mill, unfortunately, but that's cool. And then yeah, here's and there's and gardening and everywhere really. But I have a base knowledge for all of it. Trails and wood cutting and how to log and when time of year and which trees to cut in order to make the other trees grow bigger for the next years and how to do all that stuff. Excuse me, how to leave a tree for the next generation. Big yawns. Which trees to leave for the next generation so that you don't leave long skinny trees that aren't going to grow because they've already been stunted, because they're already an old tree, but they were stunted in light, so they didn't grow very big. So you want to get rid of it and let something else take its place that's going to take the place of the tree that you're taking down and all that kind of stuff, and make sure that you leave some little ones that are healthy kicking around, if there's one there that's anyway. There's a lot to everything. How to move your gardens around, how to get rid of all the limbs and stuff when you take down trees, and what to do with all that stuff so that you don't just waste and burn it or whatever, because that's not smart. How to compost it and reuse it and actually maximize the use of it in order to and I don't know the word. It's foreign, but it's a type of gardening. It's a gardening style where you actually use that stuff in order to it will become a water retention basin inside of your garden, so that your crops always have a source of drinking water. Anyway, a lot of things for that. Ow, man. Excuse me. I gotta go to work in like 15 minutes, so I'm gonna just shut her down. I think I've said enough. Oh yeah, I'm sure I have. Babbled on long enough. Feeling old today, all cracky. Anyway. It's coming faster than any of us think. But then they're going to have a solution right on the heels of it, because they've already presented the solution. So they needed the problem, not the solution. So now the problem's here, almost as bad as it needed to be. See if it makes it to YouTube. I highly doubt it. Have a great day. God bless.